and welcome to another episode of YarnGasm, my weekly podcast about mostly knitting and sewing and other fiber-related arts. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you are a new viewer, welcome to the podcast. As always, I'm so happy that you're taking some time out of your day to chat about all those things with me. And yes, we are 2 weeks away from Christmas. I cannot believe it. However, we are in the midst of Hanukkah, so if you celebrate Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. I believe it's day 3. I could be wrong. Let me double check. But that said, it is a snowy day in Brooklyn. This is the second snowfall of the season, which is super exciting. And I have to say, thus far, it's been very pretty snow. It hasn't been any of this wet, kind of icy, cold, dreary snow that we are kind of used to here in New York. I have to say, it's been a very pleasant, snowy season so far. So I hope you guys are experiencing the same. If not, I hope you're staying toasty and getting lots of knitting done, be it holiday knitting or selfish knitting. So if you've been following my YouTube channel, you might be aware that I am partaking, or trying to partake as best as I can, in Vlogmas, in which a lot of podcasters challenge themselves to upload a video to YouTube every single day in the month of December, or up until leading to the 25th of December, which is Christmas. I knew going into partaking in Vlogmas that I wouldn't be able to upload a video every single day, and this week in particular, I seem to have fallen off the bandwagon. It's just been a little bit of a whirlwind this week. Thankfully, a lot of you have been enjoying what I've been putting out so far, so that means so much to me. I'm so glad that you're enjoying. I've been having so much fun keeping up with all of the other Vlogmas videos that are out there, and there's so many this year. It's crazy. I remember last year it was only just a handful of knitting podcasters that were joining in Vlogmas, but this year it seems like everyone's doing it. So it's very exciting, and I want to thank you because you are keeping me sane while I work. But yeah, that said, I'm gonna do my best to put out a couple more vlogs over the weekend because we have some fun things planned. But otherwise, yeah, it's just gonna be kind of touch and go, as we'll see what happens. As far as other announcements go, I just want to quickly mention that last week I announced the 15K YouTube subscriber giveaway prize. So the winner has still not gotten in touch with me, so if you are watching, be sure to check out the last episode to see if you won, and please get in touch with me, and I will send your prize out to you ASAP. It's time for a tea break, and this week I have a new mug. I don't know if you could tell, I posted about it on Instagram. Yeah, if you guys have been watching the podcast or following me on Instagram, I have quite the obsession with the ACOTAR, or A Court of Thorns and Roses book series by Sarah J. Maas, and there's no end in sight. I was gift shopping on Redbubble and I stumbled upon this little gem, A Court of Feels and Fangirling, and I could not resist. That is the series in a nutshell, A Court of Feels and Fangirling, but anyway, I digress. I'm drinking tea, David's tea, carrot cupcake. It's amazing if you haven't tried it. Yeah, it's wonderful. Okay, let's get into what I've been making this week. So I am still working on my spousal socks, a term coined by the lovely and amazing Tommy from the Squirrel Pie Productions podcast. Spousal socks, in which I am knitting socks for my spouse, Dennis, and I have a hoe. I have a hoe, you guys, and this is a big sock, okay? He does not, as I mentioned, he does not have terribly big feet. I mean, he's got big feet, bigger than mine, but you know, I am not off the hook when it comes to knitting socks for him because he enjoys a long cuff. So yeah, I think I gave him like a 7-inch cuff, which is crazy sauce. As I mentioned last week, I did not have a finished sock yet because it took me a while to get around to having him try on said sock to make sure that it fit, and I was ready to decrease the toe, and sure enough, it fit, and I decreased the toe, and it fits him. So the yarn is Jinx Yarns in her Strong Sock base in her Eternal Sonata colorway. And I have to say, I would never guess Dennis would pick a colorway like this, but he chose the yarn himself from my stash, and I was like, I shall make it so. You're due for another pair of socks, and a new pair of socks you shall have. And these are quite festive. He likes them, so I'm very happy. So yay, one sock down, one more to go, and these are on my Bryson sock blockers, which I purchased from, I believe it was the Loopy U, I want to say, either the Loopy U or Jimmy Bean's Wool. I will post it in the show notes. Show notes, by the way, can be found over at www.yarngasmpodcast.com. So you can find show notes for this episode and all other episodes I link to stuff and make it easy for you to find stuff that I talk about on the podcast, so be sure to check that out. Anyway, one sock down. I did cast on the second sock and living in my wino project bag. However, I will say I feel like I'm going to be playing a little bit of yarn chicken. I have no idea how much this weighs, but I feel like it's a little less than 50 grams. Ooh, I really hope I have enough to finish this, but you know, if not, he's gonna get some multicolored socks. But anyway, I think it's gonna be enough. And these, I'm knitting these on Hiya Sharps, my favorite knitting needles. And there, I think this is a 24-inch cable, but US 1.5, 2.5 millimeter needles. And yeah, so here's where I am. Yay, socks for Dennis. So yes, that is where I am with that. Okay, moving along, living in my ever so decked out Fringe Supply field bag. Yeah, oh yeah. I got more swag, or I call it swag, but it's there. I got more enamel pins. I got more enamel pins to decorate my bag. And last weekend, Dennis and I checked out a craft fair in our neighborhood. Not Bushwick, but Greenpoint, another neighborhood over. But they have the, it's the Bust Craftacular craft show, and they have a lot of crafters. I'll talk more about this in Blather, the segment where I chat about what's been going on in my life. But there were a couple of vendors there that I knew from shopping their shops on Etsy, or I've seen them around the web, and they had some enamel pins, and I could not resist getting them there. So this one, like Daniel V Green, she makes these really fun cat enamel pins, and I have a mermaid one and I have a catacorn one. Right now it's just the catacorn, but she was actually vending there, and I was super excited to see her, and I told her like, oh my gosh, I bought buttons from you on Etsy, and she's super nice, you guys. But this is another pin that I was thinking about getting next time I shop from her, and she just so happened to have it right next to my woolly thistle button. It's a shippy. So she had one of these, and she had like a multicolored one, but this one spoke to me because, you know, it's like a goth sheep. And then I got this one from Holly Simple, and I'll talk more about her in Blather again, but she designs tarot cards, and she's a really fun artist. And anyway, I'll talk more about her later, but I got a pin from her as well, and it's kind of creepy. It's creepy, but it's a severed finger. Yeah, it's kind of gross, I know. But honestly, it's all in good fun. It goes along with her aesthetic and her art, and I'll talk more about it later. But those are my new enamel pin acquisitions. But living in my field bag is my Chuck sweater. And you guys, I'm making so much progress on this sweater. It's blowing my mind because, well, first of all, it's Aran weight yarn, so no surprise that it's knitting up quickly, but it's such an addictive knit. And you guys, I finished the body. The body is done. It's done. I just have to knit the neckline, but I've already cast on the first sleeve, and it's a cap sleeve with constructed through short rows, and it's just genius. It's so relaxing to knit, and I highly recommend this pattern, you guys. It is just a no-brainer. I tried it on, it fits perfectly, and I love, love, love this color. It's so me. Yeah, the yarn is Erica Knight for John Lewis, and this is yarn, as I mentioned, that I picked up in Edinburgh. Last time I went to the Edinburgh Yarn Festival, I went to John Lewis, and I don't know, I just wanted some souvenir yarn, and they had this in stock, and I got 5 balls, and it's the perfect amount. Honestly, I'm gonna have enough to give myself long sleeves on this, and I think I have this and 2 more balls left, and it's wonderful. So anyway, I'm waxing poetic about it because it is such a great construction. So here's the label, Erica Knight for John Lewis. It's 100% wool, made in Britain. And so yeah, it's 100 grams per skein, and it's approximately 160 meters. And I don't know what that is in yards, but so far so good. We're looking on point. And the colorway is Prune, number 17. Prune. I don't know why I rolled that R, but it seemed like the fun thing to do. So yes, Prune. Love it, love it, love it. And I'm using US size 7, oh crap. I just realized, okay, I'm totally pulling a Lara here. I don't know if you remember Lara from the Dyer's Notebook and Jinx Yarns, like a couple years ago. She was knitting, I forgot what sweater it was or cardigan, but halfway through her podcast, you realized she was using the wrong size needles for the sleeves. I'm having that same realization right now. Oh my gosh, it's fine though. I think it's okay. I can switch. But yeah, the pattern calls for a US size 8, which is a, let me see. Yeah, US size 8, 5mm needle, but after swatching, I decided to go down to a size 7 needle, which is 4.5mm needle. However, when it came to casting on the sleeves, I cast on with a US size 8. Kristen. Anyway, it's fine. Thankfully, I did not go too far into it, but I'm looking at it now and I can see, because I was knitting on longer needles, magic loop with the 7s, and then I switched to the 8s like about midway down. So I really don't know if you can see that, but you can kind of tell where the gauge is a little off. Ever so slightly. I don't even know if it's worth ripping back, but oh, I'm hilarious. And speaking of sweaters, as I mentioned last week, I am challenging myself to knit at least 4 garments in the year of 2018. So for me, 2018 is going to be the year of the garment. And in lieu of that, I decided to host a knit along, just a very, very casual knit along. Whoever wants to join me, knit as many or as few garments as you like. I created a thread in the YarnGasm Ravelry group, which if you haven't joined, by the way, highly recommend that you do. It's the place to be if you want to, or join in on all the knit alongs that are happening throughout the show. But yeah, I opened a thread in there. So far, there's been a lot of chatter happening in that thread, and it seems like a lot of you are excited for it. So highly recommend checking that out. I will link to it in the show notes, of course. And yeah, I'm excited to be doing this with you guys. So again, it's gonna be a super casual knit along, no real guidelines, knit whatever you want, however many you want. I haven't decided on any prizes yet, no deadlines. I will say, yeah, because it's a year-long knit along, it's gonna officially kick off, I guess, January 1st, 2018 and go all the way until January 1st, 2019. I can't believe I just said 2019. But anyway, in the same vein as the Box of Socks knit along that's currently going on. And yes, if you are curious, I will be having another Box of Socks knit along next year. So, but yeah, if you want to cast on a sweater for the knit along right now, go for it. No restraints or anything. I don't even think I'm gonna have an FO thread for this because, yeah, why not? So yeah, that is all the knitting I've been doing this week. I know I have a couple of other projects on the needles, but honestly, I have not been working on them. I've just been very monogamous with Chuck. Chuck's my boyfriend right now, apparently. I figure, just don't tell Dennis. Okay, so no sewing again this week. Again, I've been trying to get a bunch of swap packages out. It's just been a very busy, jam-packed weekend, and unfortunately, of making, not work or anything, just, you know, I've been making all the things and trying to get a lot of things done before the holidays, so unfortunately I haven't had any time to sew stuff for myself, but I do have a couple of things planned. I'm hoping to sew a holiday dress of some kind. We'll see, maybe to go along with my Chuck sweater. We'll see. But anyway, because I don't have a sewing segment for you guys, I do have some questions from the Ask Away thread. This week we have a question from Lois Zuger. She says, "Hi there, I love knitting, but I'm also a huge crocheter. So my question is, have you ever tried to learn to crochet? If not, do you have any plans to? Love the podcast." Thanks, Lois. Yeah, I'm assuming that you are a relatively new viewer to the podcast. If so, welcome. I am currently crocheting one of those granny stripe blankets using random mini skeins or scrap yarn. I haven't touched it in a while, but I think it needs to make an appearance on the podcast sometime soon. But normally I work on it when I really just don't feel like knitting on my projects or don't know what to knit at the moment. It's just kind of like a casual crochet project that I have going. And the other thing is, a while ago, I started the Doily Brigade thread in the YarnGasm Ravelry group because I, for some reason, got it in my head that I wanted to crochet all the doilies. I do know how to crochet, but not as fluently, if that makes any sense. to other more prolific crocheters, proficient crocheters. It's just knitting is my first love. However, I do dabble in crochet here and there when I feel so inspired to. So yeah, I do know how to crochet a little bit, and I think I would really love to learn how to crochet from charts at some point. But yeah, knitting really takes the front seat when it comes to, you know, fiber crafts and whatnot. So I hope that answers your question. And yes, moving along. And we have another question from Pappas Baby, and she says, "Hi, I was wondering if you're still using your Lark, my Lark drop spindle by Jenkins Spindles. Lark, how you would rate it against other spindles you may own." Okay, so here's my Lark drop spindle. This is a Turkish spindle that I purchased from Rhinebeck this year. I don't know if you can see that. And it's a beautiful hand-carved spindle by Jenkins. And I've been wanting one of these for a while because I know Sharon from the Knit Style podcast swears by them, and I have to agree. They are absolutely beautiful, well-made spindles. However, I will be totally honest. Again, knitting is my first love and my priority when it comes to making things. However, occasionally when I don't know what to knit or don't feel like knitting, I will occasionally pull out one of my drop spindles and spin on them. And I have to say, this is incredibly well made. It spins beautifully compared to many of I have a few other Turkish spindles. This is probably the biggest one that I own, the largest. It's very lightweight. It's about, I want to say, oh, you wrote it on the bottom. It's ebony, let me see, it's 0.95 ounces, so 27 grams. It's very light, perfect for spinning fine lace weight yarn, fine singles, I should say. And I highly recommend it. It's very balanced and even. And I have to say, this spindle is my favorite Turkish spindle. And then I have the Bosworth spindle, which is also very well made. It's more of just a traditional shaft, and I don't know the terminology, but it's your it's your basic top whorl spindle with a hook at the top, and that one also is very well made. So this and my Bosworth are my favorite spindles at the moment. Although I do have a lot of other beautiful spindles. These are, if I had some go-to spindles at the moment, those two are them, and I love this. So if you can get your hands on one of these, it is so worth the money. I believe I paid about 50 or 60 US dollars for this. Totally worth it. And it looks beautiful on display, even if you're not using it. It's just really pretty to look at. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah, so if you have any questions that you would like me to answer on the podcast, or I do my best to answer them in the thread, you know, if they are time sensitive, feel free to drop me a question in there. So that said, I am going to move along to shop update because I'm having a shop update tomorrow, December 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let me go get the yarn that I will have in the shop. Okay, so again, this is what I have dyed so far this week. I'm still not done dyeing. I'm going to be dyeing some more yarn today and tomorrow, so there will be more colorways, but this is what I have so far. So I posted earlier this week, Debbie Reese of the Periscoping Sisters podcast. She just released a gorgeous pattern called the Silent Snowfall Socks. I'll pop a photo of it here. But she designed it using my tea leaves colorway. And you guys, I could not resist dyeing up some more tea leaves for the update tomorrow. So this will be in stock. So congrats again, Deb. And I have to say that it means so much that you designed them using my yarn. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, so I know there are a couple of you who requested some more tea leaves to knit the pattern, or just in general wanted me to dye some more of this because it is a very popular colorway. And it is kind of holiday-esque, I want to say. I definitely think this could pass as like a peppermint, you know, kind of, I don't know. It doesn't scream candy cane or anything, but you can mix it in with like some reds or greens, and it could definitely be a very holiday-esque colorway. So here it is on my Nouveau base, and here it is on my Footsie base, my BFL superwash sock yarn, and I will also have it on Cocoon, and I will have it on Volca as well. All the colorways that I'm going to show you, I will have on either Footsie, Cocoon, Nouveau, my singles base, or Volca, my merino nylon cashmere fingering weight base. So yay! tea leaves, and then I will also have some more Dirty on Purpose. Here it is on Cocoon, my BFL Aran weight yarn, and then Volca Merino Nylon Cashmere. There's some more Driven Snow. Here it is on Nouveau and Footsie. And then I dyed up some more Sparkling Cider. Sparkling Cider. Which I'm so tempted to cast on a pair of socks with these. So pretty, so pretty. Not to toot my own horn, but anyway, so that said, again, I will have some more colorways in stock, but that's what I have so far. So if you want to stay in the loop about what other colorways will be in Friday's shop update, I highly encourage you to sign up for the newsletter, which you can do by going over to www.voolenvineyarns.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom of the main page, and enter your email address there. And I promise I do not spam you guys with or bombard you with a bunch of emails. I just send out one newsletter a week letting you know what's going to be in the shop and other news, events, and the like. So if that's something that interests you, then I highly recommend you do that. But you guys, I have some other super exciting news as far as Voolenvine Yarns is concerned. And I'm not sure if she wants me to mention her name yet, so I will get her permission and then maybe talk about it on the next episode. But I hired some help. Yeah, as you know, I've been thinking about bringing someone on for quite a while. However, ever since I moved down into the dye dungeon, my new dye studio, I just wanted to make sure that I was all situated before bringing someone in, and it just seems like the right time to do it. She is amazing, you guys. So I'm very, very, very excited to have her. She's just going to come in for a couple of hours once a week to help me package yarn, maybe some other odds and ends, but it's definitely going to be a huge help, freeing me up to do so much more. She's gonna be amazing. She officially starts in January, so very, very excited to have some help. And yeah, so anyway, very, very excited. I don't know if you can tell. I'm sure I'll talk about it a little bit more in the next episode, so stay tuned. But I just want to give you guys a heads up as far as the update schedule, the holiday update schedule, because we only have 2 more updates left in 2018, and including the one tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So there's that one, and then the following update will be an international shop update Saturday, December 23rd at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And just so you know, any orders placed on that date will not be shipped until January 2nd in the new year, only because I'm taking a vacation for the holidays and I don't plan on doing any work that week. I just plan on relaxing, making all the things, and just celebrating the holidays. So just be aware of that if you are placing an order on that date. And speaking of which, in the new year, the first update of the new year will be on January 6th at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Again, that will be another international shop update, only because New Year's falls on a Monday. So I'm just trying to pace myself and make sure that I have enough for the update. So anyway, I hope that answers any questions you might have about any future updates. So mark your calendars. And again, subscribe to the newsletter if you would like to stay in the loop about that stuff. So anyway, I am going to move along to Blather, which is a segment where I chat about what's been going on in my life, should you care to stick around. And yes, as I mentioned, Dennis and I went to the Bust, The Bust Craftacular, which is a craft show that happens in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, our old stomping grounds where we used to live. We live in Bushwick now, so it's another neighborhood over. It's such a fun neighborhood, honestly. It's definitely done a 180 since we moved out of there. It used to be a little more dodgy, a little more rough around the edges, but now it's like, it's hopping, it's happening. It's just, it's night and day when we go back to visit. So many awesome restaurants and everything. But anyway, the Craftacular happened at the Brooklyn Expo Center, and I have to say, it was probably one of the better craft shows that we went to, that I've ever been to for the holidays at least. They have a lot of indie makers, a lot of ones that I recognize from Etsy that are super popular. As I mentioned, Daniel V. Green was there with her enamel pins and her artwork. And then I have to say there was a lot of feminist art there, which I found very exciting. A lot of t-shirts and uteruses everywhere, pussy hats, and it was a lot of fun. So I was very happy to see all that everyone's getting pumped about that stuff. So that was there. There were a lot of artists, and well, artists as like in art that you can hang on your wall. A lot of candle makers there, like really different twists on what you're than what you're used to. I wish I took more video. I did do a vlog about it last weekend. I think it was on Sunday that we went. so check that out. But I really wish I could have gotten more video of the vendors there, but unfortunately, I felt a little intimidated like going up to their booths and taking video, so I didn't do too much of that. But yeah, it was very refreshing, I have to say, to see like all the makers that were there. And there was one, I don't know if you follow me, I don't know, I don't post about it too much just because it's not knitting related, but I am interested in collecting tarot cards. I think that they're a very handy tool, especially, you know, if you like to journal, or you know, I like to use them just to get perspective on my day. But anyway, as I mentioned, I like collecting tarot cards because, you know, for that purpose and because the artwork can be a lot of fun. But I have to say, that morning I was actually kind of browsing the web for a new tarot deck, just because I was like, you know, I kind of want a new tarot deck, just, you know, for the collection. And I stumbled on the Holly Simple Tarot website, and she has a lot of, it's definitely out of my comfort zone, not really my taste in art. It's a little quirky, but at the same time, there's something about it that I was like, this is really fun and different. And I don't know, I didn't buy it that morning, but I was contemplating it. And then sure enough, we go to the expo, we go to the craft fair, and she has a booth there, and she's there, Holly Simple. And I was like, whoa. So I go up to her and tell her, like, you know, I was like looking at her website this morning, and it was a done deal. I got her deck, and it was really cool to see it there in person. You could like shuffle through it. And again, her art is very quirky. It's very kind of, it looks a little creepy, but I really like it. I think it's kind of, yeah, it's a really interesting take on the tarot. So you get a lot of quirky little cards in there. So I really just enjoy looking at the art too. It's, you know, not really just about the meanings or anything, or, you know, whatever. Honestly, tarot is whatever it means to you. I just use it as to tap into my intuition, gain perspective on my day. It's how I start my day. I just pull a card and meditate on it a little bit, and just, you know, basically gain perspective on my day. I'm really excited to kind of explore this deck a little bit more, but definitely check her out. I will post a link to her website in the show notes. But anyway, yay, new tarot deck. Yeah, so I know that might be a little too woo for you guys, but anyway, I'm into that, so go figure. Anyway, as far as other things are concerned, I'm still reading The Tea Rose by Jennifer Donnelly, and I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. It's an epic read, I will say. And, you know, again, the narrator is just okay. I probably would go back and reread the book with my own, attaining my own voices to the characters, if that makes any sense. But anyway, I'm really enjoying it. And a lot of you have been commenting on YouTube, recommending other books to me. So thank you so much. I've added them to my to-read list. So, you know, hopefully I can get around to some of those. And I finished watching Outlander. The season finale of season 3 happened. Oh my gosh, yeah. I can't believe it's over already. We're gonna have to wait like another year for season 4. Crazy sauce. But anyway, there's that. And then what else? I also just binge watched, what is it? The White Princess, which is an adaptation series on Philippa Gregory's book series. It's a dramatic adaptation of what actually happened between King Henry VIII's mother and his father, King Henry the VII, and his wife, Queen Elizabeth. Yeah, the facts all escape me. But anyway, I had so much fun watching that. The costumes are amazing, and the story is just, oh my gosh, even though I know like some of it's not historically accurate, it's totally a fun watch, and I highly recommend it if you are looking for something to watch. I believe it's on the Stars Network. I actually subscribe to them through Amazon, so check that out. Woo, I think I've been babbling on way too much. So anyway, I will leave it there. If you enjoyed the episode, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe below, and I will see you next time. Happy knitting, happy holidays. Bye. All this box to ship one bath bomb? You gotta be kidding me.